I am your host, peta-gay Barrett with Barrett Fitness. And on this podcast, we discuss fitness, nutrition, overall health, and overall well-being. We are back to having live guests.
Hey!
I have Mr. T.C Womack with me today. Hi, T.C.
Hey, what's going on? First of all, thank you for having me on the show.
My
I'm very
pleasure.
excited to talk about what I love to do.
Awesome. So as he says, what he loves to do is fitness and helping people transform not only their bodies, but there you go, your mind. Not only your bodies, but your mind. So TC, thank you for being here with me.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? A little bit about TC.
Shout out to Pensacola, Florida. I'm originally from Pensacola, Florida, Northwest Florida area. I live here in Atlanta, Georgia. Somehow the military got me here, so I'm a military veteran. I'm still currently serving. I'm a reservist. So God just made it happen.
Right.
That'd be a lot of what I said.
So you are a personal trainer, fitness instructor, and of course I'm sure you do nutrition,
Absolutely.
as well. How did you get into personal training? How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it certified for about a year now. I actually took a chance on myself and did it during the pandemic. A little backstory about my personal fitness is I was not the best person when it came to fitness. Being in the military, especially the job that I do, took a lot of toll on my body, and due to personal stresses in my life, I was overweight. I couldn't run, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. But I always had that country boy strength.
Country boy strength?
So mama fed me well when I was younger, but I could never do anything. So I met a great guy when I was deployed. His name was Jordan Cunningham, and he pushed me out of my comfort zone, and it helped me get to where I needed to be because it helped me realize I was feeling sorry for myself because I'm cutting on TV or going on Instagram. Oh, I want to look like Michael B. Jordan. I want to look like this person.
Right.
And it made me get out of comparison. I can only be myself. And once I changed that perspective or that mindset, I was good to go.
Yeah. Wow.
I wanted to take that to other people.
Awesome. And you said something, we talk about personal training and just helping, it's helping people transform their bodies. A lot of personal trainers or fitness people, that's like their main focus, right? Helping people just to transform their bodies. But you are interested in not only the body, but also the mental aspect of it, right?
Oh, absolutely. You got to be.
Right.
If you're not changing somebody's perception of life or how they view it, you're going to constantly they're going to come back to you and it's going to be like, oh, I lost this weight. Then I'm going to go to Cancun and I'm going to stunt or whatever these young kids say. And they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to do all these different things. And you like, so you did this to impress somebody and you did your impressing and then what's next?
Right.
I mean, it's like going to school. You go to school, you get a high school diploma, then you get a college diploma, and you're like, I'm going to get a master's and become a doctor. Get your master's and become a doctor, and you're like, what's next?
Right.
So you want them to think about, for me, I use myself. My grandma turned 90. I want to live to 120.
You want to live to 120.
So I want to live for a little minute.
Right.
It's about building that lifestyle up.
Right. And that is a good point though, TC. As a personal trainer myself and dealing mainly with women, I have a lot of clients who the wedding dress, that's a big thing. Like you say, going on vacation, and then you get married, and then what? That husband that you marry is gonna want you to probably look the same, after 5-10 years, right? Before and after, right? Yeah. So what kind of personal trainer would you say TC is? What would make someone who's watching this video on YouTube or listening to this, podcast come to TC? Because, you have the energy, you have the vibe, so that's going to get people.
Y'all know who DJ Khaled is?
DJ Khaled.
I'm going to be honest. I consider myself the DJ Khaled of fitness. I have one of my favorite things, some of my clients might even hear this. I have a sled in my gym. It was a busted down sled that sits on a desk. And I said, how can I use this? I put some sliders on it because my gym is a little carpeted. And I put 135 pounds on there. But after that, I will jump my ass on that bitch and go, excuse my language, you got to
Oh, no, it's fine. That's
but
okay.
I'll jump my ass on that thing and I'll be like, pull me.
Oh, even to your client.
Even to my client, I'm like, pull me, go. And I'll get a speaker and I'll put on Rocky, I'll put on some Drake, I'll put on whatever it takes for them to do that. Because, I use an example, her name is Kelly Bennett. This lady is 49 years fucking old, pulling 300 pounds. That includes myself. And the fact is she's had brain surgery, she can't really see out of one of her eyes, but when she does it, she doesn't know, she astounds me. It's like an astonishment, because it's like, Kelly, you know what the fuck you just did?
Yeah.
You have to forget professionalism. You like, you know what the fuck you just did?
Right. You said she's had brain cancer?
She's had some type of brain surgery, and so her mobility was off, her balance was off.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm like, Kelly, you just pulled 300 fucking pounds. And it's like that type of, her and her husband do stuff like that. And I can name a few people, Dan Knapp, Kim Brown. Like, you get these people that you meet that work these regular jobs that say, I want to fucking be different.
I want to renew myself. Right?
Exactly. And they come in there and you, over time, you learn from them the same way they learn from you. And that's what sets me apart. I have to renew myself for them.
Right.
I have to renew myself and get right. Because if I don't, then what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. So tell us about, when we spoke earlier a couple weeks ago, you mentioned, you work with people who may be suicidal or someone who may have Parkinson's, or how do you find dealing with, having clients like that? I'm sure it's just a different level of challenge.
It's not really a challenge. I don't believe in challenge. Challenge is just, once again, going back to what I believe is a mindset. I need to learn this. So I tell people, I stay a student of the game. So I'm watching this great thing called YouTube University. It's free 99. You might have to skip some ads, so if you feel good, you might want to you might want to get the premium.
Right.
But you want to go and research it. And I sit down and what I'll do is I'm eating lunch and I'm watching Parkinson's videos. So I'm learning there's like 4 stages of Parkinson's.
Constant renewal of yourself. You're teaching yourself something in that moment.
You
knew nothing about Parkinson's, right?
I knew not a goddamn thing. Right. But I sat down and I learned, okay, I can't push her the same way I push Kelly. And then there's a couple, her husband has arthritis. So I say, I can't push him a certain way. And then you learn from that.
Right.
And then it guides you. So you have to constantly sit there. But somebody comes to me and say, you know what, at one point in my life, I wanted to kill myself. I had to go not only to that space of why, because I was at that point, at one point stage in my life, where I was questioning my own life, like, what's my purpose? Wow. I was drinking out, I'm glad to share it here.
Yeah, tell us about that, please.
I was at a point where I almost killed myself because I had just lost my car. I was confused whether I was going to sleep in my apartment or sleep outside and have Howard. I couldn't run home to mom and say that to her. So I was very prideful. I was very that. And I had a neighbor come to me and just tell me it's not worth it. And that thought lives in my mind when I tell somebody that you don't have to be what your story is. Because people constantly want your glory. But they damn sure don't want your story.
Or your pain or your struggles, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I always tell people that dealing with these clients, the clients I train with Parkinson's, I'm like, you're coming to do stuff and she's doing amazing. The guy with arthritis, he's doing amazing. And then you get to meet these other people and it's that constant pressure of renewal on that spirit that makes you get up in the morning like, damn, I get to do this.
Right.
And they come back later and say, you changed my life. I'm like, excuse my language, I ain't do nothing special. But that's, as I tell people, that's the God in me. That's the universe, that's the greatness. And I like to push these people to find their greatness. If you're watching this, I'm pushing you to find your greatness.
Yeah. And that means something different for everyone, right? Because all our stories are different. Even though there may be a guy and a gal who have Parkinson's, their stories are going to be different, right? And as personal trainers, I mean, in my opinion, I think us in the fitness world, we're just as important as doctors, right? And even more so to a degree, because we're not pushing, medicine or just a quick fix on you. We're trying to get you to do this for a lifestyle, right?
Exactly.
And not say, oh, take this pill until the pain is gone and then you can go back to your normal life. We're trying to prevent you from having to go to the doctor, having to go get pills, right? I've had sessions where it ended up being like a therapy session.
Exactly.
I'm sure you can relate to that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a part of what we deal with on a regular basis. So that's where the mental health aspect of it comes in.
I literally believe one of my biggest things is prayer plus meditation is the major key to success.
Prayer and meditation.
See, people get it twisted. Modern day Christians sometimes get it twisted. Well, you can't meditate. Look, I put my Dumple pack on.
Your what pack?
Deepak.
Oh,
He's Deepak.
okay.
Lord, if I butcher his name, I apologize. But I put him on, and he has a 21 day of abundance challenge. I do that every so often.
Oh, okay. So is that a personal trainer?
Hmm?
Is that a personal?
No, he's all about meditation.
Meditation. Oh,
Meditation of the
okay.
mind. And prayer
Okay.
is a sense of gratefulness.
Mm-hmm.
So many people tend to forget. This ain't mine. This brand ain't mine. This ain't me. This is not mine.
So how you
the power? It's a higher power for me is God. God is my universe. When you hear me say universe, God is my universe. So if I can't get on my knees and put my hands down and give this glory and show gratefulness for this life that I have, eventually it will end. And that's what a lot of people don't get. You don't have to so-called pray. You can just give. It goes back to that constant renewal. That's a part of it. When you cut your car on, you need gas, don't you?
That's right.
When you go home and cut that lights on, you need that stuff to do whatever you need to do. You need internet for Netflix. You grateful that you got it.
Right, yeah.
So that's the same thing that people have to realize. You have to naturally be grateful for where you are. And that not only physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
Right. Yeah. So mental health is obviously really important to you.
It's very important.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing, your story of, you were at that point where you felt suicidal, and, maybe one person out there who's listening can kind of relate to you. Now you're in a position where you're helping people, and you can appreciate it a little bit more because you've probably been where some, people have been. And us being people of African descent, I'm not African American, I'm African Jamaican, and you're African American, people of African descent. I think mental health is almost like a stigma in our, especially for men. Would you say that?
It is. I'm gonna be real, and for all the men out there, please listen to what I got to say on this. Stop trying to be something that you're not. And what I mean by that is, we've been bred since we were kids to be tough.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna this. I'm gonna be straight up real. I like listening to my Dave Hollister, I like listening to my Drake, I like listening to my T.I., I like listening to my rap, I like gospel, all that. And I cry. There'll be sometimes you be in the car like, one day I'm gonna be getting married. Like, it hit you and you let it go.
Right.
Well, sometimes you have to let it out just to be free. And a lot of men don't wanna do that.
Yeah.
And that, like for me, my life changed when I did this as a trainer. I started out, my first check was $10.
Wow.
I'm making decent money from it now. And it led to other things being created, entities in my life, the Iron Sanctuary. And now it's like, I need to go to therapy.
Yes.
I need to go to therapy to make sure this anxiety is dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
Black men don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Or even our culture doesn't want to hear it because, we don't need no help. Grandma said we ain't need help. We need prayer. Prayer's good. I ain't taking nothing from the Lord. But sometimes you need to go sit down and talk to somebody that's unbiased, has an unbiased conscience.
I know that's right. Can you repeat that one more
Somebody
time?
that has an unbiased conscience of you. So guess what? You can't go run over here and say, you know what? It's because that. No, maybe you got mama trauma. Maybe you got daddy trauma.
Yes.
Maybe you got trauma from that little girl that said no to you the first time.
Yes.
So you use women as a tool. Or maybe you are over-sexualizing yourself as a woman because you never felt pretty. So now you done got everything going back to the body.
Of course.
That little list, whether you doing it for a lifestyle or you doing it for a goal, you done got that little body, so you gotta show your body off. And so you want to date little child on that ain't finna give you nothing but a baby and leave you alone. Oop, I done heard somebody from my bed. Let me stop.
But it's true though.
But it's true.
And I really feel like even in a forum like this, you know, I mean, we're two people and simple people in Atlanta. We ain't no ballers, we ain't none of that. But you know, in our culture and in our environment, even when we sit down and have these conversations, we don't address it. Sometimes we feel like the backlash that we were probably going to get from our peers or from our relatives or friends or whatever, but somebody needs to hear that because it's a real thing that's happening and the people we know are experiencing it, right?
I'm gonna tell everybody my belief on life. It is very simple. I ain't the richest man. I ain't got the best looks. I'm the craziest motherfucker, probably next to David Goggins. I'm probably the second craziest motherfucker on God green earth. And like they used to say in church, raise your hands up and receive this, please. Fuck them.
Yes.
That's my belief.
Yes,
Fuck them.
sir.
It's simple. Because you have, God gave us, through modern science, you have 70 years on this planet. Sometimes you gotta look at yourself and really realize, maybe I'm the fucked up individual.
Yes.
Maybe the life that I've chosen is fucked up. But we don't want to hear that from ourselves.
Or maybe something in our past or caused us to be fucked up.
Exactly.
Right?
So one of my favorite sayings from David Goggins is, go have a conversation with the person in the mirror. And what I mean by that is, look at yourself. I looked at myself when I was talking to Jordan Cunningham. And I had father issues. I didn't know.
Wow.
And we were sitting out at a work site. He comes, he said, I'm sorry. He said, I'm sorry for all the times that you felt alone. I'm sorry for all the times that nobody picked you up. And most importantly, I'm sorry because you were trying to feel something that your father couldn't.
Wow.
And
you're trying to feel something. Feel or feel?
Feel. That's
feel.
it. Feel something.
Feel something, yes.
So once he said that, it dawned on my sister. I am trying to be somebody for somebody that didn't.
That's right.
And then once I got that, the gym was just my renewal. That sanctuary. That's why I wear on my back of my shirt, I have welcome to my ministry. Because, like I always say, they want your glory. People see me now, they want it so bad. But I'm like, y'all don't know. I started with $10. Y'all didn't know. I didn't have nobody supporting me. Y'all didn't know that there's been nights where I had to sleep on my gym floor because I was that tired. Y'all don't know that I was sleeping before I had a key to an office. I was sleeping in my car. Also at 5:30, still sleeping in my car because I had 8:30.
Right.
Y'all don't know that I chose to do this during the most dangerous time of my life, a pandemic.
The most dangerous time of all our lives, really. And you took the leap to go out and say, I'm gonna start this in the middle of a pandemic.
And
good for you, TC. Good for you, brother.
And they don't know I work for free. I worked for free 3 months before I even got a check. But people are afraid to invest 30, 60, 90 minutes into yourself because you gotta go out with your girlfriend. Or you gotta go do this. The fuck them.
Right. Go sit on somebody's couch, have a conversation, and get deep within yourself. Because really, until we figure out the root cause of some of the issues that we're having, and I can speak, as a woman for women. I mean, a lot of us, or a lot of women, some women been molested as a child by the people who are closest and dearest to you, and and then you grow up and you just become promiscuous, and you never really figure out, why is it that I'm promiscuous? What is it that really caused me to be this way? And then you just live your entire life that way. Talk to somebody who you say is impartial. They don't have any reason to judge you,
I mean, even myself, I had a period in my life where sex was a drug. I was just attaching my spirit to people. But I have 3 brothers in my life that I will always be grateful for. Adrian Glinton, James, I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure you're gonna listen to this. I don't remember your last name, and Carl McKinney. Those 3 men showed me, as Dre taught me how to not care about the opinion. James taught me how to still be myself and walk in there. And Carl taught me that I can still be a strong man. Now he got married a few years back. He taught me that I can still be strong. Right. He's a girl dad. He has a son too, but he's a girl dad. Right. And he showed me that I can still be strong in those places. And it's association too. Right. A lot of people don't want to say that it's associated too. I don't ever go ask a single person how to be in a relationship. I don't ask somebody in a bad relationship how to be in a good relationship. Yes. I don't ever ask a young person how to save money. I go ask an older person. Right. Yeah. So it's the same thing going back to fitness. I don't ask nobody that just go to the gym and you sit there and you
right, on the
you can
phone.
YouTube
right.
University. I love Athlean X. I love Kai Green. I love Phil Heath. But guess what? These motherfuckers are all different.
Right.
Athlean X, lean as hell. Kai Green can't wipe his behind because he's so swole. That was Phil Heath.
You TC.
I'm just saying.
Right.
But
right. Yeah.
I always tell people don't know Kai Green look crazy. He said it take a special motherfucker to put 800 pounds on your back to get your ass down and get up.
It does.
But people don't want to go in themselves and be like, you know what? I can use this as a form, as a platform. I tell people I'm the angriest person when I work out. I say, look, I put on my Kevin Gates, and I be like, and it go off like a switch. People walk, hey, Jimmy, what's going on, man?
Yeah, you get into that zone. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. I mean, you know, we say helping people transform their bodies and their mind. It starts in your head. It starts up here. Because without you wanting to do it, it's just not going to happen. Exactly. Without you getting over what it is that's preventing you from doing it, it's just not going to happen. So, TC, thank you so much for this conversation. You know, as we wrap up here, there's, you know, a couple of other questions I would like to just kind of touch on real quick. Nutrition. How important do you think nutrition is to overall health? Not only physical health, but overall health, mental health, physical health. How important is nutrition?
Nutrition is one of the most, it's more important than push your weight because people don't realize what you put in your body will result in how you respond. Good example, we go to the gas station, right? You get a BMW, right? They tell you to put what type of gas in?
Premium, I guess.
Yes, exactly. What happens if you put it regular?
They probably won't even start, will it?
It will actually.
Oh,
See, people don't say that. But here's the thing. If you put regular in there, it's going to hurt the engine. That engine light will come off. It don't matter how many miles, whether it be 50, 50,000, 50 million. It's still going to have that in there. So it's the same thing. If all you are eating is grease and just like that, it's going to slow you down. It's going to clog you up. So what you have to do is look at what you gonna do. For me, I eat a lot of greens. I eat a lot of vegetables. I love meat too. But there's times when I'm training, when I'm preparing for something, I can't eat all that.
Right.
Now, if I'm bulking, yeah, I can go out and fry and do all this other stuff. That's good. But then there's a change to it. So I have to eat greens. I have to eat whole grains. I have to eat all that because I didn't prepare my machine to go.
Right.
So it's the same premise of the car.
Yeah. Nutrition is key. It all works as nutrition and mental health and physical health and exercising. It's all a part of a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly.
Right. It all comes together. So one last question, TC. What would you tell a person out there? What advice you would have for a person? Number one, the person who is trying to get into fitness, right? They've never had a personal trainer. They don't know where to start. Like, you know, they've tried and they just can't lose weight or they can't get in shape. Like, what advice would you have for that person who's just starting their journey into health and fitness?
Honestly, I would say you just gotta start. It's not whether or not you need a trainer, because we're just here to be guidance to get you further into your goal. You gotta start. I mean, walk up some stairs. Park a little bit further.
Yes.
Don't, you know, when your friends go out and you need to get a good regulated sleep schedule, sleep. Go ahead and say, I gotta sleep. Take care of your machine for where it's at.
So we can take care of you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is the truth. And you touch on sleep, you know, it's a part, it's all a part of the whole plan, right?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Well, thank you so much, TC. Thank you
Thanks
so much. I mean, this was a great conversation, and I'm glad, you know, you gave me the opportunity to speak with you today on a topic that I think is so important, especially for us in the African American, you know, community. You know, we don't talk about mental health enough. And as men, I don't think you guys deal with mental health enough.
I mean, they just be afraid to. And I tell people, when it comes to mental health, I tell people, I'm a person where I have the greatest life in the world. I got great people around me. I tell people, sometimes that darkness will have so many answers for you.
Yes.
And if you solve that riddle, it's like, now you Batman or Superman. You out there doing whatever you need to because you're no longer afraid of
going back. Yeah. And then it's still a constant renewal of you. I love that. I love that of self. I totally love that. Any last advice for anyone who's out there listening to TC right now? Any last advice that you have for people?
Fuck them. I'm just gonna be real. Fuck them. Like,
Yeah.
be who you are. Like, real talk. Be who you are. We're in a culture now of people being false or falsehood, not being true to thyself, being true to your morals and your values, and switching up because somebody around you may or may not believe in what you're doing. It's okay to go alone. It's okay to walk that solid path by yourself, because at the end of the day, when you get to the other side of this fucking thing we call life, you'll look back with no regrets. While others are saying, I should have,
Right.
I could have, I would have, if I could have only had that extra thing. Live life like, I'll say this and I'm done, I swear.
No, please.
When I die, I'm gonna get there, and there's gonna be a conversation. God is gonna have this conversation. He's gonna pull this book out and go, so this is your life. I see you changing lives. I put you down as changing lives. I put you down as creating brands. I put you down as in showing the world what you could be, what you should be, how it should be. But I fucking did not see you become the GOAT, the underdog. I did not fucking see you. And you hear this, I'm God right now. God's cussing, God don't cuss.
God is cussing.
I did not fucking see you making others believe in themselves.
Right.
I did not fucking see this shit.
Right.
And when I hear that, when I get to there and I hear that say that to myself, that's a dangerous thought to have. Because at that point, nothing in this world can stop me.
Right.
And so if you're listening to this, I say, think of it like that. When you get to the end of this life, do you want anything to be a regret? Or do you want to say, I took and I tried and I did?
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Thank you, TC. Seriously, do you want to look back at your life when it's on the end, of your journey and regret it? That's one of the most important questions that anyone can ask themselves. When it comes to the end of your life, if your life should end today, would you look back and regret the decisions that you've made? We all have things that we may regret, but just overall and in general, you don't want to regret your life. You want to look back on your life and say, you know what? I gave myself a constant renewal of self. And we will end on that today. But TC, tell us, where can we find you? Where on social media are you?
Y'all can find me on Instagram at T.C_Womack on IG. From there, you can see my links. You can catch my interviews that I've done. You can catch the Iron Sanctuary brand. We're getting ready to drop some new stuff. Come check us out. And once again, you can just see me on there being crazy and see my personal life and all the things that I'm a part of.
Right, awesome. Well, thank you for being my guest. This was an amazing conversation, you guys. And for those of you who are on YouTube, I will put all TC's information in the comments below. It's the Iron Sanctuary. I totally love it. Thanks for the conversation. We met on social media. The power of social media. Network. Yes, that's right. But thank you guys so much. You can find me, Barrett Fitness Enterprises, on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, on my blog at barrett.fitness. The name of this podcast is Get Your Ass Up and Move. It's a fitness and nutrition podcast. Mental health is an important aspect of overall health and overall fitness. You heard the man today. You heard his story, where he has been, and he didn't take no pride for him to let us know your story, because hopefully we can touch one person with this conversation.
All I got to say is this. It's all about the smoke season. Get your ass up and move. I said it. Get your ass up and fucking move. And guess what? You got one life. Use it.
And on that note, TC